Saint Bernard of Corleone we celebrate on 12th January. Saint Bernard of Corleone was born on the island of Sicily in the year 1605. His father was a shoemaker and taught his son the ways of the trade. But it was difficult for the lively youth to interest himself in this work. Upon the death of his father, he immediately left the shop and, led by the love of adventure, he took up fencing. It was not long before he became quite adept at wielding the sword. His unusual corporal vigor qualified him to challenge any comer to a contest. From then on, Saint Bernard of Corleone spent the greater part of his time in training and eagerly seized every opportunity to match swords with his hot-tempered countrymen. Although this manner of life led him far away from God, nevertheless, many noble characteristics were perceptible in Bernard. In taking up any quarrel, he liked to defend old people and other helpless and defenseless persons against violence. He frequently made devout visits to a crucifix that was highly honored by the people and provided that a lamp be kept burning before it. Moreover, he cherished great devotion towards Saint Francis. God and Saint Francis soon led him to realize what a disorderly course he was pursuing. Bernard had been challenged to a sinful duel, in the course of which he wounded his opponent mortally. In order to escape from his avengers, he sought refuge in flight. In this extremity, as so frequently happens, grace knocked at his heart. Bernard heeded the call. He acknowledged his godless and dangerous conduct for what it was, bewailed it bitterly, and resolved upon a complete change of sentiments. In order to atone for his sins, Saint Bernard of Corleone begged for admission among the Capuchins as a lay brother, and on December 13th, 1632, he was invested with the holy habit. If in the past Bernard had yielded his bodily members to wayward purposes, he now used them as an atoning sacrifice unto salvation. 7 times a day he scourged himself to the blood. His sleep was limited to 3 hours on a narrow board with a block of wood under his head. He fasted for the most part on bread and water. If anything delicious was placed before him, he would carry the food to his mouth so as to whet his appetite and then lay it down without having tasted it. In spite of his austere life, he still undertook the most unpleasant and annoying tasks as being his due. Almighty God showed how agreeable to him was the penitential life Bernard was leading. He favored him with extraordinary graces, particularly with ardent devotion at prayer. Bernard cherished special love for our Blessed Lady and encouraged others to do the same. Often, Our Lady appeared to him and placed the Divine Child in his arms. Moreover, she gave him knowledge of the day of his death 4 months in advance. He died at Palermo on January 12, 1667. Attracted by the fame of his sanctity, there gathered for his burial so many people who raised their voices in praise of the deceased that it was less a funeral cortege than a triumphal procession. Numerous miracles occurring at his grave promoted the cause of his beatification by Pope Clement XIII in the year 1767.